20 years ago, I sat in a battered old BMW on the beach in Weston-super-Mare. I had been a successful entrepreneur. I had acquired, built, and sold multiple companies. I had been featured regularly in media and national media, and I had helped other entrepreneurs build successful, extraordinary companies. But here I was, sat on that beach, and my own business had collapsed. And as I sat there, I wondered what had gone wrong. I wanted to blame the world. I wanted to blame the economy. I wanted to blame other people. But as I tore back all the excuses, I realized the truth, that I had drifted into failure. I had self-sabotaged my own success. Not deliberately, but because of voices that I had inside my head. I call those voices demons, and they're the voices that say, you're not good enough, you'll fail, you're just not enough, you don't deserve it. And as I sat there, I asked myself, where did these demons come from? Why is this going on? And then I realized those demons had been planted decades earlier. You see, I grew up during the Northern Ireland Troubles, during a 30-year violent conflict which tore communities apart and left thousands of people dead. And at the height of those troubles, on a Saturday afternoon in Belfast city centre, a terrorist bomb went off in a busy restaurant with devastating consequences that shocked the world. Shards of glass and shrapnel tore through the building, causing horrific injuries. I was 4 years old and was one of the survivors of that bomb. I remember the flames and I remember the smoke and my older brother pulling me through the rubble covered in blood. To this day, I can still see the crumpled bodies in my head and I can hear the screams, but it is perhaps the smell that triggers me the most. Over time, the wounds began to heal, but the trauma didn't. The trauma stayed. And I was haunted by nightmares and flashbacks, waking up every night, screaming and bouncing off the walls for weeks and months and years. And this had a huge impact to my family and at school as well, where I became the weird kid, the outcast, the person that couldn't connect with anyone and people couldn't connect with me. Now, over time, as the years went by, I had professional help when I was only little. But the seeds of those demons had still been planted. And those demons were fear, guilt, self-doubt, and lots of other demons as well. And this carried on into adulthood. And it stayed with me for years and years and years. And even when everything looked great on the outside, on the inside, I was fighting a battle and a war that nobody else could see. So, here we are, all those years later, sat on that beach, in that car in Weston-super-Mare, realizing that it had all gone wrong and I had drifted into failure. And the truth was, those demons were controlling my destiny. So I needed to ask myself as I sat there, I need to question, how do I get back control? How do I start over? How do I rebuild the life that I truly want? And then it came to me, something I had been teaching other people, how to build great companies, extraordinary companies. And I realized while I sat there that this wasn't just a business operating system, it was a blueprint for life. And in that moment, my life changed forever. I spent the next few years traveling around the UK, teaching this process and systems to other people so they could build extraordinary lives and live meaningful lives and build extraordinary companies. I called this framework Perplex, and I applied it to my own life so that I could rebuild and become stronger and better again. And Perplex, P-U-R-P-E-L-E-X, it's an acronym for Purpose, Plan, Execute. And what I'd like to do is to share this framework with you in the hope that some of you might find this useful on your own journey. So purpose. Purpose is your destination. It's the future that you want to create. It might be in business. It might be in education. It might be in the community or in sports or in healthcare or your family. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that it gives you meaning. 40 years ago, an Irish musician called Bob Geldof watched something that really shocked him, and it was the Ethiopian famine. And in that moment, he made a decision, a purpose. He gained a purpose that he wanted to change this. He saved millions of people from starvation. And this was before the internet. And people said it was impossible what he wanted to do. There just wasn't enough time. The scale of what he wanted to do was so enormous that it was just impossible. But in just 6 weeks, Bob Geldof pulled off the impossible. He rallied the world's top artists from all over the world, and he staged Live Aid, with concerts taking place in 2 continents at the same time. 1.9 billion people watched Live Aid on the TV and radio from across the world. And it raised over £100 million for famine relief. And this was 40 years ago. Or, at the other end of the scale, there is the single mother of 7 children who lives in a war-torn community. And her purpose was simply to keep her children alive and safe, sending them overseas to another country to give them a better chance without her. That was my mother, and she taught me a lot about purpose. When your purpose is big enough, you will always find the how, always. So step 2 of this is plan. Okay. So purpose without a plan is just a dream. It's something that you talk about, but you never actually do. So purpose is the destination. Plan is your roadmap to get you there, and it requires 4 things. The strategy. So like any road, there is multiple ways to get to a destination. And you need to consider all your options and decide which route is the best for you in your journey to achieve your destination. So number 1 is the strategy, which is choosing your route, how you're going to do it. Step 2 is what will it take? Do you need to learn additional skills? Do you need to gain knowledge? Do you need resources, money, time? What is it that you need? And And perhaps it's the people around you. You need support and help from other people. So number 2 is figuring out what you need to achieve your plan. Number 3 is the trade-offs. And if you want to achieve something big and important, a purpose, there will be trade-offs. So that might be money, might be time, it might be habits that you've got to give up. It might be comfort, you've got to get outside your comfort zone. Or it might be relationships that have held you back. Whatever it is, you need to decide what they are and commit to them. And then number 4 is setting clear milestones so that you can monitor your progress and small actionable steps so that you're progressing it every week. And if you don't do this, you'll find those demons come back and they will start to whisper in your ear, it's too hard, it's too far away, you can't do it, and besides, you don't really deserve it anyway. So when you have a strong plan that you absolutely believe in, it makes the impossible possible. So step 3, execute. Step 3 is the difference between dreaming and achieving. And it is only in the execution that your life truly changes. So execution is the doing. It's taking that step every day. Purpose is a destination. Plan is the roadmap to get you there. And execution is getting in that car, turning the engine, and driving. So that's the 3 steps to build an extraordinary life of meaning. Back to my own journey. So I had been at rock bottom. I was up to my neck in debt. I was feeling lost, and the demons inside me had destroyed my confidence. But things started to change as I applied this, as I applied purpose, plan, execute. Things began to change. I started a new business. I then built a multi-million group of companies. I launched a national media company that became extraordinarily successful. And I was working with celebrities and billionaires. I turned that lack of confidence into somebody who was speaking on stage in front of thousands of people across Europe and was mixing with people that I could never, ever have dreamed about. So my hope today is that you see life through perhaps a new perspective, not through the lens of what has gone on before or where you come from or what you've been through or the demons that you have, but through the lens of possibility of what the future might hold. And all you need is a clear purpose, plan, and execute. So, I want to round off with an extraordinary twist to my own journey. And I mentioned that old BMW that had gone on me and all those travels when I was at my lowest possible point. Last year, while I was driving to work, I spotted this old car in front of me. I couldn't believe it. I'd scrapped it years earlier. And so I pulled over the driver, eventually convinced him to stop. And I sat there in that car with him, and all those emotions came flooding back from 20 years ago when I was at my lowest point and I had the darkest possible thoughts. And I said to him, "You've got to sell me this car." And he eventually agreed to sell me back this car. And I had it fully restored from the ground up. And it now serves as a reminder to me and other people that no matter what happens, no matter where you are, no matter how dark the road ahead looks, you can always rise up again. Thank you very much. Thank you.